Hello, and welcome back to Learn English with Stories, where you improve your English through classic tales that teach valuable lessons about life. Today's story is about a father, a son, and a donkey, and how trying to please everyone can actually make you lose everything. Let's begin. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by green fields, there lived an old miller and his young son. They owned a donkey, a strong, loyal animal that helped them carry bags of flour to the market. One morning, the miller said to his son, "Let's take our donkey to the town and sell it. We can use the money to buy food for the winter." So they set off early, walking beside the donkey along a dusty road. The air was cool and birds sang cheerfully. As they walked, a group of women washing clothes by the river saw them and laughed. "Look at those fools," one of the women said. "Why walk when you have a donkey? At least one of you should ride." The miller scratched his head. They're right," he thought. He lifted his son onto the donkey and continued the journey. After a while, they passed a group of old men sitting under a tree. One of them frowned and said, "Look at that lazy boy. He rides while his poor old father walks. That's not right." Hearing this, the miller felt embarrassed. "My son, people think you are disrespectful. Get down, I'll ride instead." So they switched places. Now the father rode while the boy walked beside him. But soon, they met a group of women with children. One woman shook her head and said, "That poor child! His old father is comfortable on the donkey, and the boy is struggling to walk." The miller sighed. "You're right again," he said. "I guess we should both ride." So he lifted his son onto the donkey with him, and together they rode toward the town. After some time, they passed through another village. A farmer saw them and shouted, "You cruel people! That poor donkey! How can it carry both of you? You'll break its back." Now the miller didn't know what to do. He stopped, got off the donkey, and said, "Son, maybe we should carry the donkey instead. Then no one can complain." The boy looked surprised but nodded. They tied the donkey's legs together with a rope, put a long pole through the ropes, and tried to carry it between them. People on the road burst out laughing. Children pointed, dogs barked, and everyone shouted, "Look, those two fools are carrying a donkey." The miller and his son felt ashamed, but they kept going, determined to reach the market. Finally, they reached the bridge that led to the market. The donkey, frightened by the noise and laughter, began to kick and struggle. The rope slipped, and suddenly, plop! The donkey fell into the river below. The miller and his son ran to the edge, but it was too late. The donkey was gone. The crowd fell silent. The miller sighed deeply. "My son, we have tried to please everyone, and in the end, we pleased no one, not even ourselves." And so they walked home quietly, without their donkey, but with a very important lesson. Let's look at what this story teaches us and learn some useful English words and expressions along the way. You can't please everyone. To please someone means to make someone happy or satisfied. The message here is clear. If you always change your actions based on other people's opinions, you'll lose your direction and maybe more. Miller, a person who owns or works in a mill, usually making flour. In old stories, the miller often represents simple, hard-working people. Embarrassed, feeling uncomfortable or ashamed because of what others think. Example, the miller felt embarrassed when people criticized him. Cruel, unkind or causing pain. The farmer said, "You are cruel to your donkey," meaning they were being unfair to the animal. To frown, to make a serious or angry face. The old men frowned when they saw the boy riding. To sigh, to take a deep breath, usually because you're tired or sad. The miller sighed when people kept judging him. Now, let's connect the moral to real life. When you try to make everyone happy, friends, family, strangers, you end up confused and exhausted. Sometimes the best choice is to follow your own judgment, even if people criticize you. So, what did we learn today? The father and son lost their donkey because they listened to every opinion. In life, advice is useful, but only you know what's truly best for you. Moral of the story: if you try to please everyone, you might lose what really matters. Thanks for listening to Learn English with Stories. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's always worried about what others think. See you in the next story.